I slipped to a whole new state of consciousness. And then I realized that wasn't going to happen, which was a huge relief, because I'd always felt,
You sure didn't happen.
Yeah, and I'd always felt like if I just worked a little harder at it, or meditated a little longer, or did this or that or the other, then I could make it, fix it. I could make it work myself. And then when I realized that was completely out of the picture, then that it really sunk in. I really got slapped. Really.
Again, what were you looking for?
I was going to meditate until I got enlightened.
Did you know what that would look like?
No, hell no, but I thought I did. I thought it was going to be, this whole golden light and freedom and, happy the rest of my days and beyond. All that stuff. So
I guess it worked.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It did work. I got to the last house on the block finally,
This message has ruined my meditation.
I was a meditator and TM teacher, Transcendental meditation teacher, for 55 years.
And I did TM for 8 years. Wow.
Yeah.
You guys know Rick Archer, yeah?
I know Rick Archer, yeah. Yeah. And a bunch of other guys, but it's been a blessed relief over the last couple of years. And yeah, Paul, it worked. How about that? Or maybe I should say it's working.
Well, I knew the letter. Well, the letter was for you, Mike, when I met you. Yeah.
Well, you knew about it before I did.
Yeah. Sometimes you just look at a group and yeah. Yeah.
Well, the gal that was sitting next to me still can't figure out what happened, which I'm not sure I could figure out what happened, but she was like, nah, I don't understand it. Really not for me. And I said, great. I'm not sure I understand it either, but it's definitely for me. Whatever the fuck it is, it's for me.
Yeah, because nothing ever happened, so it's different.
Exactly.
Yeah. You would think that a change would have to be caused.
Or would have some symptoms or something, there would be some.
Yeah, but that's just like when we look at things and we call them paradoxical, it's only because we're looking at them through a failed system.
Right.
That the system to protect itself has to say something it doesn't understand is paradoxical. But a lot of shit it doesn't understand.
Okay, I've caught myself trying to fit a completely new and different experience, or at least new to me, myself, into an old context. So what is this? What's going on here?
Yeah. Well, you don't do that, or we don't, but the head does. Yeah.
Yeah, the head does, and that's to me, that's what the Course in Miracles means when it says, "Oh, we see only the past," because we're always trying to fit it into some past context, because that's all we have to go by. We think, we got to try to sort it out based on what we think we know already, which turns out to be
Well, yeah, there are mental activities.
Yeah.
That imply it's you doing the mental activity, but it's not.
Right.
Mental activities making up of you. But the idea that everything is perfect in a way is because nothing ever happened, really. Really. Yeah, like whatever you did and didn't do hasn't changed any fact, really, underlying fact. Yeah.
Right.
like the worst. That's why people could come right to it in a sense. Like, remember the stories about a guy who had like 100 fingers of people he killed around his neck, and he ran into the Buddha, let's say at uh, Clayton
Well,
Haight Street, ran into the Buddha, and then just heard Satsang and bammo. He still had the 100 fingers with the necklace around him. He had seemingly done all this shit, but being defined by the doing, and living as if you were the doer was seen through, so to speak. Yeah. So he didn't have to go through taking one finger at a time off the necklace so that he could understand something. It was nothing was really an impediment because this is how I feel. Everything, just like yesterday, I don't, in a sense, there is, it's not like a snail that leaves a trail. Monday, there's no trail of Monday really. It's now a Tuesday. And it's as if, like the guy Douglas Harding would say, uh, when it comes to your head, there isn't one, and everything is just going through. Yeah. I don't see how, because you can't, in a sense, we can say, oh, everything is perfect, but it isn't in a place of degrees in comparison. Yeah. But the beauty of it is everything is perfect because actually nothing is happening. Yeah, I feel.
and I think the Hindus would talk about the line in stone, the line in sand, and the line in water, and I think that's a pretty good analogy. That line in you can see the motion of your finger going through water and drawing a quote unquote line, but there's nothing to show for it.
Exactly. It's the only, all is the finger in motion. That's what
Exactly
you
right. Right.
leave anything. Yes.
There's nothing left. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't believe, uh, see, if you were gonna present something that's already so in a story, the beginning of the story, it seem not to be so. Yeah.
Right.
And to follow a story and give meaning to the story, things happened that brought about a seemingly not being so as a recognition of so-ness. But did that actually happen? No. Obviously, all there is that or this. Yes. Nothing has made it more or less. This. Yeah. But here, like people are always stumped with, they follow your biography and you believe your biography had a lot to do with where you are now, but where you are now uh, was not produced by the biography. You could say the action figure, yeah, has scars and everything like that, but I don't believe it ever went anywhere, really, literally. It's like a sort of an etch-a-sketch. Yeah, yeah, just like you said, you put your finger and you make a line in the water, and you can do it as fast as you can, and you would actually think there was a line if you sped it up or you did it habitually, but no line was made or anything. Yeah, so I don't see in the world of appearances, I don't see everything as perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of things that seem to stick out that uh, because here in a subjective experience, uh, because it's really not happening, anything can happen. This is the dilemma, yeah. Can happen in what's not happening. Whatever the head can come up with, it can seem to appear to happen. Yeah. And the quality that it's lacking is the quality of what's happening, is that what's happening is happening at least. Yeah. It's an event at least. Yeah. That's the one quality that which anything can happen doesn't have, which is it actually happening? No. And does happening mean it happened? No. Happening does not mean it happened. It just means it's happening. Yeah. Like a verb, like there was no beginning of the painting, no end. It's a mural. Like it just doesn't. And then the head, to understand it, tries to frame it and give it color, names, and form. But fact, it's just happening, isn't it? And we were talking about it today earlier. Let's say the five senses is what, triggers this event. Yeah, you have contact, or there is contact through seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. And then Buddhism would say there's a sixth contact, which is the head going over what was felt, seen, taste, touched. Yeah. Yes. So, and sometimes somebody I know who hasn't really been listened to, always when they start talking to me, they go, listen. And I said, I am listening. It's like the store is already open. It's not like open the store. All day, the store is open, isn't it? There's seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. There's contact going on. It's not as if it's closed and then it opens up. It seems like a lot of effort to close because it's always opened. Yeah. Yeah, so uh you've got to, are you listening to me? Yes, I'm listening to you, the bird, the wind. Yes, da da da. Yeah. Okay, start there. Now, do I want to listen to you or whatever? Those are other ideas. But the fact that I'm here is obvious. Yeah. Seeing it in this event. And so this is what always gets me after when we believe something like that we are capable of being out of a moment, yeah, that sets up a desire or a drive to get into the moment, which only reinforces the insane mistake that you could be out of the moment. Yeah. And then businesses flourish for not long, though. You don't see many books on getting into the moment anymore, or how to, get how to really get into the moment. And then the final one of the trilogy, how to stay in the moment. That's the real, isn't it? That the spiritual seeker's wet dream, having an experience stabilized. So here we go. So this whole attempt is to get into a moment that we're not out of. This is the dilemma, isn't it? A dilemma is something, it's that you're misseeing something. Yeah. We have this dilemma of powerlessness in recovery because we think we have power when we don't. So we're in a dilemma of powerlessness because the powerless state isn't being noticed. We're thinking we have a lot of power when we don't. Yeah. So it creates a dilemma. It's like, yeah, so we're in a dilemma of thinking we know when we're in a state of unknowing. Yeah. Uh, so the head says, I have this incredible inherited power. I can be out of a moment. Yes. And I'm going to prove you. I'm totally out of the moment right now. And it's part and parcel of all the irritability, restless, discontent. And so it sounds like the best thing to do is get into the moment. So see if I do better if I live in the moment, because living out of the moment ain't working. Yes, but ay, ay, ay. That can only go through one or two books. Yeah. After you read the first and the second, very rarely the third, the sales drop really precipitously because you realize something, the duality of the projection, that most of us as a driving force, and that's what we're expressing, let's say, that driving force is to get out of what we're not in and to get into what we're not out of. It's just really, it's the first, when you ride a bike, the first pedal, the first rotation of pedal, when we're riding this little bike, the first rotation is I'm trying to get out by riding this bike of what I'm not in, and I'm trying to get into what I'm not out of. And then tons of things fall under that that dynamic. and and then there's masters, or there's people that will measure how out you're out of what you're not in, and how in you're into what you're not out of. And then it just keeps going on. How far out can I be in out of what I'm not in? I don't know. I don't know. How far in can I be of what I'm not out? I don't know. I don't think you're going to find out through thought effort. Yeah. Thought and effort is on the side of believing you're out of something that you're not out of. Yeah. Believing you're in something, but you're going to be evicted and be out of it. Yes. So there's this whole movement. It's a movement. And basically, duality is a movement that keeps things shook up. Yes. It's like an agitating force. Let's say if you only had one breath and it was an inhale, your whole life was an inhale, but it isn't. It's an inhale, exhale. Yes. So there's this movement going on of trying to get out of what we're not in and trying to get into what we're not out of. And so, and then not knowing where the shaker of that shaking, yeah, where the shaking of the shaking, we're not the shaker, but the shaking of the shaking, we look around and we see what's disturbing our serene. I'm in choppy waters, but no, it's just, it's a this and a that. Yeah. And it's a that and a this. And if you're moved by one, you're going to be moved by the other. Yeah. And then I could not see how you're going to be stopped moving. So I felt, why not see you're not that which is moving? Yeah. Because there's going to be a moving. When you vow not to have another thought, a thought's going to arise and you're going to feel like you're the thinker of it. Yeah. Or if you vow, I'm going to be nice to every person I meet, it may last if you don't leave your house for a while. But as soon as you get out there, or you get on a bureaucratic call, like with the the internet or the TV shit, you're gonna fucking get frustrated. So this whole idea of you have your little battle here, and then spirituality brings you to a much more sublime battle, which I think you're more incapable of dealing with. And I would greet that failure as a great success by saying I'm not that which cannot live up to a vow. Yeah. Instead of finding another vow to live up to. So you have what's going on, you have the reaction to it, which is not you. And that reaction to it is like a German shepherd with the not being able to understand, but it won't fucking admit that. So it just keeps on trying to figure it out. Yeah. And then you see the second wave of spirituality would be, I've got to stop playing God. Wow. It's going to be very difficult if you're not that which is playing God. Yeah. But you assume that you are the one that's playing God. So I basically, I'm just going to grit my teeth and I'm going to swear I don't want to play God, and I'm going to try to stop playing God. Check it. I bet you it doesn't work in about 30 seconds. Yeah. So why not see you're not that which cannot stop playing God? Why not? Yeah. Why want to have a change, but not the change of the identity, where all the relief is from losing interest in the identity? Why do you want to keep holding on to the identity, having the ability to change that which it can't change, when you can see you're not the identity? To me, it's the swiftest, it's like slacker heaven in a sense. Yeah. Because it's the first, let's say you want to be ignorant of another stuff. So you get, not you, but the system. So it gets occupied by tiny things. Oh, my team is on a losing streak. I'm really upset. blah, blah, blah. I hate what I'm listening to and da, 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 da. Yeah. Okay. And then you live that for a while, and then there's a self-awareness occurs. And then somebody points out, or you start having a curiosity, and you look at, wow, what's really going on? Yeah. And then it's more daunting than the daily skirmishes because now you're on at the underlying causes and conditions, but you still think you're the owner of it all. Yeah. And then you're confronted with, if these are your thoughts, why aren't they listening to you? Yes. Yes. And and with the greatest earnestness, you will make a vow to have an empty mind and a thought will drop in. Yes. Or you will say, I feel the love and the empathy for every living thing, and you'll step on some fucking cricket or something. Yes, some things are going to happen. Yeah. And then there will be an identity with that. Yes. Why not see when that reaction occurs that it's not you? Why not? Yeah. It could change the whole story. Yeah. Because all the stories usually have one commonality and it's you in them. Yeah. I noticed it with relationships with women. After having maybe 10 significant relationships with women, and seeing that something was at fault there or I was incapable of certain things, it was obvious it wasn't the women. Yeah, they were all 10 different women. The one constant in all the relationships was me. Yes, so basically it would be probably wiser to look at the me than the 10 women. We just, yeah, because not every woman dances exactly the way I dance, obviously. So, yeah. So I did that move from not being aware and fucking around and everything, and then becoming self-aware somewhat when I got sober, and then really starting to see the underlying conditions, yet with the same eyes. Yeah. That this demands me to do something. And I tried to meditate into a new condition. I tried so hard. The retreats here weren't enough. I went to Thailand and I sat for weeks there, 13 hours a day, 6 hours sitting, 7 walking. Yeah. I did that stuff. I went to great lengths, or I was pushed to great lengths, but none of that stuff changed the basic equation. It was me doing stuff. Yes? The doing didn't bring about this message. I heard this message. Yeah. That's it. I wasn't doing anything other than, well, I went to the meeting, but at that meeting, I didn't have to do hatha yoga for 10 minutes before and sit and meditate and then hyperventilate. All I did was sit down. I couldn't even hear the lady. She's from East Europe and she couldn't speak. She didn't speak that loud, but I felt something. And I started to feel the aha that true relief brings you when you hear the news, I feel. Yeah. And then all this stuff that I was really afraid, and I would imagine you would be too, to find out because it's going to be more daunting than the day-to-day shit. Yeah. I was willing now to have a fearless inventory of it because I saw it as not me, not me, not me. Yes. Yeah. Not only the objective Paul, but the subjective Paul was seen as not me. Wow. If you see only one, you're going to get crucified by the other. You need to have this is a not two. It's not a not one. Yeah, it's a not two. You have to see that which your head takes to be an object sometimes is not you, and then that which is taking itself to be a subject, basically critiquing the object a lot of the time is not you. Yeah. Then for what happened when I saw I couldn't stop playing God, I realized I wasn't that which was playing God. Fucking hallelujah. And my quitting playing God didn't look like the playing God stopped. It looked like a loss of interest in that which was playing God. That's what it looks like. Yeah. That which was playing God is still playing God to this day. I've just lost interest in it, and I believe it's the interest that I represent is the godlike juice that that which wants to extract it from me needs. Yeah, something has to use me if it wants to play God because my alias, AKA, is God, so to speak. Yeah, I am giving everything all the meaning it has. Yeah, so it gave me another set of balls because it was a disarming. When I saw the underlying conditions that I was truly outmatched by, it wasn't like another, another humiliating defeat. It was a hallelujah because I saw it wasn't me. That's all. That's how it worked. That which I was assuming to be me while I was aware of all this other stuff wasn't and isn't. And so when that was revealed, it took me wherever it took me. And then there was in a sense, uh, there's not that many steps to get back to where you already are. I'm just telling you. Yeah, it's not a long journey. There's not like it's a journey with a gateless gate and an open secret. In other words, it's readily available at all times, right where you are. Yeah. The requirements are coming from the misunderstood, the misunderstanding. Yeah. You don't take the steps are really a non-duality. Yeah. And they're not even taken physically. You just see, yes, the objectification as a you, and then you see the subjectification of as a you. And you recognize neither of them are you, and there you go. Yeah. Once that gets sort of stabilized, you have a new basis, which is an ease and comfort, so to speak. Yeah. And then the history of the action figure, I feel, isn't going to be an action figure that just wants everything to be great. It's going to be an action figure that travels lighter through whatever life has in store for it. Yeah. Yep. And just as easy as things can be forgotten here, uh, many of your days will just be that. Yeah. You don't have to remember that which has never been forgotten. Yes. You don't remember awareness. That would be awareness trying to remember awareness. Yeah. You are aware. You can't, there's no remembering it. Your awareness. Yeah. Yeah. And that which is forgettable will be forgotten for sure. Yeah. So I feel the stage for all this right now is satsang, tell you the truth. I believe there's a presence in this group and in any group that gathers of something greater than ourselves expressing itself through our group conscience. I think satsang is an incredible, can have a shower effect. It can have a lot of effects. And ever since I entertained these ideas, the only thing I've done is satsang. I have not done visual things, directed meditations, nothing of this. Yeah, no, I have no problem with it. I just haven't done anything except satsang. Yeah. The books have been rarely read, nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know how it will pan out for you, but I feel, satsang is just it can shine even through a Zoom in through technology. I had a little bit of an opinion about it earlier. I had a ranking. I thought live is the best, and then I would say video, and then book and stuff like that. But I've been I was sorely mistaken. This presence can express itself through Zoom quite well. Yeah, it's awesome. And also, you don't even have to get dressed. Not only do you not have to drive over, yeah, and then bring something or whatever, you don't even have to get dressed fully. You can just sit, and all of you may have incredible restless leg syndrome, and I can't notice it. Yeah. You may be doing a cha-cha-cha right below the waist. I can't see. Yes. But here we are, and like Mike from Mexico, his road is over. He did whatever he did, and that's the drama of a story. And that which he thought he would acquire, he now has by losing interest in the acquisition. It's not an uncommon effect. Yeah, I've witnessed it and heard it a lot over the years. Yeah. I knew people that come here and their facial structure uh, has a certain tightness. Uh, they take this very seriously, and that becomes an obstacle in a sense. So then they get softened up by Zen bitch lap and some of the antics that go on, and they don't want to hear it's like spiritual sperm finding the mother egg and stuff. But it seems that after months, their faces change. It's really cool. The structure change, and they're just happier or whatever, more content. And really, you don't have to save up for the afterlife. Yes. Yeah. It's not like you're going to cash in some chips. There's not a you anywhere else but here. Because there isn't a you. There's just an appearance of a you. Yeah. And I don't believe the appearance of the you is in that many theaters. I think it's an independent movie playing way, way, way off Broadway. Uh, can you imagine what is subjectivity but emphasis and meaning? Yeah, we're dreaming. No matter how much weight we put in the dreaming, when all of it's said and done, nothing ever happened, really. Yes, it's all happening. I, in this event here, I would imagine that the meaning I give to the New York Yankees season performance is different than yours. Yeah. And it means something to the action figure. But does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. Do any of those people playing as a Yankee know me? No. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. But my father introduced the action figure of Paul when he was 5 years old to the most beautiful thing I had seen it by that time, which was Yankee Stadium. And he took me up from the walk in, and then we came up, and the the it was a cloudless day, and the green of the field was just blew my mind. Yeah, incredible. So the action figure got impressed, and then it turned into an expression. That's all that happens a lot of here. Yeah, yeah. You don't have any karma. You're really uh, the vehicle for karma to express. Yeah. If you really, I humbly believe, if you think something is really going on here, it's just a karmic slinky of impressions, expressions, impressions, expressions. We're the vehicle for its expression. Unfortunately, we think that we're the one who has the karma. But in fact, we're the one to sort of make it up, make up. We're used to sort of trigger. Yes. So the self-centeredness is insane. They had in an old book, they had a joke about if if the mind stopped at a jellyfish, the jellyfish would think it was the crown of creation, yes, and that God was made in it. It was made in God's image. Yeah, this idea of arrogant self-centeredness is insane. Yeah. You don't have fucking karma. Look at what happened when you were a baby and they try to explain to you if you were in a Catholic family somehow. Oh, Paul, you're held captive for a lifelong thing called a mortal sin. It's called original sin. You have no idea of any connection to it, but you're saddled with it for the rest of your life. And if you commit a couple more mortal sins, your ship's gonna sink into the depths of hell. Yes, this is giving us a huge importance, don't you think? Seriously. Do you remember all the movements an ant has made? Have you? Do you follow? Never mind. It just goes on and on. So the head can't see outside of its sphere. It's good to know. Yeah. And it's not going anywhere. The head, this, what you call you, is part of the body identification. It's where bodies end, it doesn't start again. Yeah. Yeah. When the body dies, Paul, the idea of Paul dies. It doesn't fly off and find another Paul to be. It's it's like if you were a blow up doll and you had a voice box on you, and life would keep pulling it, and there would be a loop of you saying, "I did it. I should have bought. I want this." Blah blah blah. Yes, yeah. When the doll gets deflated, never to be inflated again, the voice box goes with it. Yes, you're not going to have a dialogue concerning the absence of Paul. Yeah. A pin will drop and there'll be no hearing of it ever. Yeah. The absence of Paul. So, yeah. If I was helpful, I'm sorry. I am sorry because it's best just to be frustrated and bummed out. You're never going to get it. Yeah. So finally, like the wise coyote realizing it's not going to get the meat of the desert tortoise, it leaves. Yes. It leaves. It doesn't keep trying to grab it. It realizes it's not and it takes off. Yeah. So here we are. All right. Who's running today? Who's the boss here? Michael? I'm
Hey,
gonna
Paul.
I'm pinning it on you.
That's fine.
All right, you're the helm
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I've had worse jobs.
You know what? What did you say you wanted to read? We're gonna do that in the big book, but we'll do it on Thursday, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we'll go over that. We're gonna have a whole new life, whatever they said. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyone like to share any questions?
Honesty. Hey, Dana.
That's from another Zoom thing, and it's not that I typed it in there and I want it in there like I'm going, see, I'm honest.
I got
I
you.
wanted-
I changed your name. There you go.
You have the 7 sins, sloth,
Yeah.
sloth 2.
I'm really interested in Satsang. I don't have a car or anything, so I didn't know you could go on Zoom and
Yes.
participate. So I would really like, I don't know if you have a number, and you don't have to get it right now. But I'd like to get some information about that.
Well, it's on we have 5 of them a week, really. Yeah? You know.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the talks here. This is the satsang.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
you're in the loving presence right now.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
You need a number to go to it. You're here.
okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you know how you used to, where I come from, action figure was recovery. Yeah. So recovery, you would go to meetings and a lot of people you wouldn't know. And you would sit there and there was a code for recovery as a whole, which would be love and tolerance. Yeah. So you're sitting in a room with like 30 other people, and a new person comes in, people you wouldn't know. Yeah. And you would sit there. Wow. And you can hear the recording. That's cool. So in this, so then a new person would come in and they would share and they go, I feel so accepted here. And you've judged the person as they were walking in. And the person next to you judged them as they were walking in. And all the people had their opinion already set. But it didn't have any effect because it was overridden by a presence. Yeah. And that presence exuded love and tolerance for people. Yeah. And so the person would feel love and tolerant, but I would add, if you asked every individual in the room, were they being love and tolerant? Probably they would say no. Yeah. So, but there's a presence that's
Yeah.
riding our little eyes. Yes. By a collection of we's. So, this is what I feel satsang is. There's a loving presence expressing itself through our group conscience. Yes? Yeah. And I find it almost like an oasis, really, or a watering hole. And I've come to really enjoy all the other animals that come to the same watering hole, like Alan Olson and David Lowe. It's all interesting. It's like having a camera, one of those nature cameras where the animals don't know. And then I can see all Stephen Mack and John Kay coming to get some refreshment. It's great. Jody Love, Mary Champagne, it's Michael Stacy. Yeah, it's just wonderful, really. Yeah, it is. And yeah, it's just a joy that I like the idea that it's in this life, that there could be something called satsang that you could show up for. And now you don't even have to dress or drive or park or anything. And just sort of like let something that there's a knowing of already just flow over you. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice, and because that which flows over you, something sinks in, obviously. Yeah. And you don't have to be aware of what's sinking in. You'll know, you'll come to know what's seeking in and by its expression. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you think you are, like a apricot tree your whole life, and someone finally tells you, no, you're a walnut. Yeah. And then suddenly the walnutness just aligns you so perfectly. And it wasn't like you ever were an apricot tree. Yeah. You just thought you were. Yeah? But you've always been like a walnut tree. I feel things like this sort of happen here. Yeah. And if I was interested in like robbing a store and I go to Satsang, I would lose interest in robbing the store, probably. Yeah. Yeah. So where does that interest go that was going to robbing the store? I don't know, maybe enriching your day. Yeah. Yeah. So when you admit you can't do something, something does. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyone?
I don't have any hands up, Paul.
You don't have any hands up. Oh, that's great then. Let me read this thing I did. I think did I do it with you, this little piece from the Course in Miracles? This may be the last one I do. Have you heard the ends and the means thing?
You shared with it on Tuesday at the
Oh,
12-step meeting.
oh, at the 12-step meeting, but I didn't give it. These people hadn't paid for the platinum thing, so they missed it. All right.
No, we'll send around a collection plate.
Yeah, we're not going to charge you for this. We're going to give it to you freely. Yeah, because I like you. So we went into the Course in Miracles. I had a brush up with that for a period of time in my life. Not an expert, nothing like that, but a lot of avalanches were triggered by some of the stuff I read. And there was a famous piece called I Need Do Nothing that I was always attracted to at the end of the trail that I was on. Yeah. And here he has a very interesting statement that really fits what the action figure has gone through in recovery. Yeah. And that is, he says, the head, I'm going to change the idea of it's you doing it. I'm going to use the word the head, all right? So the head has too much faith in the body as a source of strength. What plans do you make that do not involve its comfort or protection or enjoyment in some way? With a question mark. Yeah, so you're supposed to linger on this statement. This makes the body an end and not a means. This is cool, I feel. In it would say your interpretation, I would say in the head's interpretation. I do not believe you have an interpretation of you. I don't. I believe there's an interpretation that's presented as a you to what we are. Yeah. Yeah. So so if this is the case that what all we're doing is looking for getting better health wise, like this, that the body seems to be seen as an end a lot in the head's point of view. Yeah. We're trying to find something that fits us. I don't want to be in a desert area. I want to be, all this stuff. See, a lot of demands to the ease and comfort of the body. Yeah. And so in this, he's saying, or the Course is saying at this point is, this makes the body an end and not a means. So you're trying to get something as the body, for the body. Yes? And this always means you still, well, then it goes, this makes the body an end and not a means. Yeah. So when I came into recovery as the action figure, I was the end of everything. Yeah. When I did drugs, it was for me, everything, I was the end. And being the end, it justified the means. So anything went. Yeah. If it suited me it was about me. Yeah. And not knowing that overwhelming strategy was killing me. I thought it was getting me over on stuff. Yeah. When I entered recovery, I laid down on the operating table and that whole thing shifted to the I am an end. Yeah. I mean, I am a means to an end. And the end isn't my end. So I am going to be used by a higher power, just like I was used by the lower power called the head. Yeah. And the lower power sees me as an end, the higher power sees me as a means. Yeah. So instead of me trying to get and find love, I'm going to express love. Yeah. Instead of me always being comfortable, I may be interested in how other people are doing. Yes. All these things can change. And sometimes quickly and sometimes slowly, but it occurred over time, staying in this process where the head and the head completely saw itself as the ends, which justified all of its beings. Yes, that changed. It didn't change it. It was changed. And then the horse was put in front of the cart, and I realized that the action figure is a tool or an event to be used, yes? And you're going to be used by something. And the recovery would break it down to two things. You're either going to be used by trusting finite self or used by the infinite, yes? But you're going to be used. And what you think is, there are certain handles that you have that are going to be used to pick you up and place you places. And one of them would be right-sizedness or humility or whatever. And therefore, this is what happens to us. And before this happens, most of us are in this condition of living for the body, obviously, and having an interpretation that presents the body as the ends. So, like Mike said, he wanted to get enlightenment. So he, as the body, wanted to become enlightened. Yeah. That was pure looking at everything from the ends point of view. Yeah. Even in Buddhism, they have a trip. Because in Hinayana and Theravada, the Buddhism from Burma and Thailand and stuff, it's about realization of the person. Yeah. The person waking up. And then years later, through Mahayana, they came up with the idea of the Bodhisattva, who's awake but's not going to leave until everyone is, which is great because everyone is already. But yeah, it's going to be. And so that would be the means, the Bodhisattva means, and then the realizing myself would be the end. Yeah. So you're going to wear one or the other. And that collar, you know, is going to either make a dis-ease or a discomfort, or it's going to be loose and you'll have a lot of freedom. Yeah. Just check it out. Yeah. Under the guidance of the head, you're seen as the end and the beginning. Do I want to waste a second trying to change its opinion? No. I just want to see it as not mine. Yeah. That's all. That's all. And then it was easily to get in the habit of being in the means area. Yes. Yes. And to me, the action figure works a lot better placed in the means instead of being used to get to an end. Yeah. Or being the end of all ends. Yeah. I want to be enlightened. I want to be comfortable. I. Yeah. Yeah. So I milked this cow for about a week. There you go. It's still triggering when I'm sitting here, though, the means and the ends, because it's definitely a view. Yeah. Yeah. And I would say the view most of us were looking from or are looking from is from being the ends. Yeah. And that's why recovering to another state of seeing yourself as the means is such a it just changes all the value, yeah, and the emphasis of life. Yeah. All right. I'm ready for an 8-minute goodbye.
Well, Ernie would like to come in. He has
Okay.
his hand up. Hi, Ernie.
Ernie, come in. I have a hello to my love, Amelia. She walked in.
Ernie, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me, Paul?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you again. It's just brought me back to the movie Matrix when Morpheus said to Neo that do you believe in fate, Neo? And then Neo said, no, because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of myself. So that's what I felt for the whole 50 plus years of my existence, because I so believe in the body. And then I just, when you say a little bit of willingness, that there's not much you really can do, and and you just have to let go, because and stop playing God, and accept your failure. Then somehow I see the truth of what you say, which is the success in failure.
Yes. And you're not going to, you don't even, we're not, there's no asking of anything from you. You're just going to see an activity that you used to look from. So when you're looking from an activity, it excludes you from seeing it usually. Yeah, you see everything else from that activity. So now, yes, we're now seeing where we used to look from. So, and when you see it from what you are, where you used to look from, you realize I need do nothing is the greatest strategy, tell you the truth, because what you're seeing as the organic you is a mechanical program. Yes? One of the main parts of it is consciousness brings into contact the head with this event. The head claims the contact and makes it a noun verb story. Yes, so you're the doer of a lot of shit you really have nothing to do with. Yes, on and on. Most people, when they notice that, they believe they're the one doing it. They're not doing it. Yes, it's just mechanical. And the feeling of being the one doing it is part of the mechanics of the claiming. So you now see a lot of your little subtle movements of saying you'd love to be free, but you really like to polish the bondage. You're not that. Yep. So you don't have to, all you see is uh, you're not that which is playing God, and there's a loss of interest in that which is playing God. It will continue to play God. That's its programming. Yeah. Your head is going to try to tell you what the day is going to be like, usually when you wake up or whenever. Yeah. Or if you're going somewhere, it will say, well, I bet you they don't have this or that. It's just, this is what it does. Recognizing it's not you, there's no drive to improve it. Yeah. There's no drive to, it's been changed enough that I'm not in jail every other day. Yes, that was necessary here. The necessary adjustments were done through life, yes, and through recovery and stuff. Yeah. So there's nothing I need to do, just tell the truth of it. Yeah, which is I'm not, it's completely involved in it in itself. I'm not involved in it. Yeah. Yeah. So the real, even like me being 2 levels below a coconut, I could recognize it, is when I saw I wasn't something, the possibility of being free from it became available. And then the head showed me a history, or something other than the head, a history that I had been trying to be free as that which had defeated me. Yeah. And really the freedom was from it. So it wasn't a more scalpel like surgical concentration. It was losing interest in that which believes I have to concentrate and be this and that. Yeah. And I followed that fall. Yeah. And like I talked to Ernie about just a little bit of willingness. I was a little bit willing to be pushed down the stairs, and I was pushed down the stairs. Yeah. And then I saw what I used to look from. I did. Awareness wasn't a complete field to me. It started with Paul. Paul was aware. Yeah. You know how much of awareness I miss when I say Paul is aware? It's unbelievable. Yeah. There's a vast space of before Paul, during Paul, and after Paul. So yeah. So this happened, these crescendos occurred with satsang as an aid, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just doing what I seem to have gone, that was presented with me, when I'm presenting it with us. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not, we don't have to stop playing God. We're not that which is playing God. We don't have to stop thinking. We're not that which is thinking. We don't have to stop feeling bad. We're not that which says it's feeling bad. Yeah. This was a different answer that actually worked. Yes. It was almost like when you weren't knowing anything, the obstacle course was like, going to court, doing this, doing, ran the obstacle course. Then you got in spirituality, and in a way, the obstacle course got even much more subtler, and the hurdles were much higher. Yeah. You you have to have no mind, or what the fuck, or you have to enter a no thought realm, or no judgment, which is this is sort of like I realize why most people don't want to get into spirituality, because they know they're going to fail all the tests. It's just it's like unbelievable. And then only people trying to be mindful every second, and then something, they trip over something. Fuck that. They lose the whole mindfulness. It's just you can't, because what you are taking to be is after the fact. It is not the fact, it's after the fact. It can't get before that which is before. Yeah. Yeah. So I had no idea that the lens could see. This is what usually the head was with me, with getting accomplishing stuff and getting stuff in spirituality. It would be like this. I was having these experiences, and the lens kept getting wider and wider. You know what I mean? Just like this. Yeah. Now, how far can it go? I have no idea. I think it's defined. It's going to stop, but like this. Then I heard non-duality, and it was like this. It just moved back up behind me. I couldn't go that far. And I got stuck. I got caught like the emperor with no clothes. Really. Yeah. It believes it can go really far this way. It can't go anywhere this way. So when the camera lens moved back, I was caught. I saw that which I used to look from. Yeah, that's what we're sharing. Came out of a recognition. It went, "Woot." Yeah. So here I was, and this is like, if I turn to look, yeah, I can't, I can't go like, I can't get this in front of me. I can't. Yeah. Can't. And I can't turn my head quick enough to see it, because I am it. What? Yeah. The road you're on to failure equals success is a finite road. It's not an infinite fucking journey. Yeah. You can be tripped into it right now easily. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ernie, you're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Slap, like it or not. Just accept your fate. You're in that tiger's mouth, and yeah, don't play dentist in there. Don't try to clean its teeth. Just realize you're going past there. uh, yes. All right. Anyone else? Or we'll just end.
That's it, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, no, thank you, Michael. I want to thank Michael and Kerry and everyone who does service to keep the Zooms going. And thank the guy, David, who started it all. And I want to thank Dimitri and Julie, who set up the website. They took uh, a BC website and brought it to AD. It was a profound shift. And They have been, that service has allowed the crooked arm of Zen Bitch Lap to extend farther. Yes. So, and everyone else who's ever donated time or money or art or music to our thing. And if I've been tardy getting in touch with people, yes, that's unfortunately, it's tough to keep up interest with stuff. Serious. I just can't. Yeah. I'd say I'm going to call someone, I completely forget, and fuck it. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So I really appreciate everyone, and because it's nice to have a lot of people in the pool. Yes, it's a nice energetic thing. And I wish you countless satsangs. Yes. Yeah. All right. So Michael, thank you. Really, thank you. Michael has shown up and been yeah, he's one of the lumbar of the backbone of Sandwich Lab. Yeah, I'm on the cervical number one, maybe. Very weak link. The real base is down in the lumbar area. Michael is there. Yes. Mike Clark. Yeah. Jim, nice to see you. I had a pleasure. Yeah. Kerry, as always. Stephen Mack, as always, on having never left. John K. Judy Love.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Mary Champagne. David Lowe. I'm happy I screwed up your meditation, David. Yeah. Miak. Zoe Banks. Marl. We're always with you, Marl. Yes. Yeah, you need to chill out. Yeah. We're always waiting for you. Natalie. Fect, Fect. John, Florida. Very nice to have watched John in his little seat there with his instruments. What you call it, Drop the Rock, as they had that book in AA. Teresa, nice to see you. You look comfortable. Annette, I think this is Eli. Nice to see you, Eli. Alan Olson, the notorious Olson gang, one of the members. Mike G, San Clemente. I've met Mike many times. Nice. Lovely girlfriend. Honesty Dana. Yeah. Susan Harris. JP Sola. Very cool. Keith G. Yes. Moochie Facet. Yeah. Keep my eye on Moochie. Down in the beach. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Paul.
David Bitterman near Motown, Detroit. Nice to see you, David. Oh, there's his lovely other. Nice to see you. Listen, I can't go to the other page. Thank you so much. We'll be here tomorrow night, and yeah, take it easy or not. See you later.
Bye,
Thanks,
Paul.
Paul.